Most guys can't build a powerful athletic physique, like the dream physique that they want or desire, because they're missing at least one of these four core pillars, right? And I like to call these four core pillars the TMAN method. Now, I know a lot of you are probably wondering who on earth is this fine ass looking man talking about this so called bulletproof system to help you to get in the best shape of your life and also perform at your best, regardless of what age you are, right? Well, let me just introduce myself and who I am. My name is Chibs Olympia, and over the past 10 years, I've trained across elite level sports, martial arts, and high performance playbooks from experts, right? I've learned my own method called the TMAN method, and I've learned how to implement it into my training style to make sure I'm getting the best bang for my buck. And what that means for me is that I've created a method where I can implement calisthenics, gym, and also any other sport of my choice to improve my performance, improve my functionality, right? Self-defense, power, speed. Yeah, I'm gonna show you my method and what I have actually used to create a style of training that fits me, right? And has also, it's worked for me and has also worked for countless of individuals that I've helped over the years. I've also helped individuals to get to their results, improve their performance when they're training, and also look absolutely fucking amazing, right? So, yeah, that is the TMAN method. I call this method the TMAN method. And the reason why is because it's built on four foundations. It's built on training, 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 mindset, accountability, and nutrition. It's very simple, but it flipping works, right? And this, it doesn't matter what you're training for. It doesn't matter what your goal actually is, whether you want to lose weight, whether you want to build muscle, whether you're trying to improve your performance when you're training for a certain sport, right? It doesn't matter what it is. This method works with anything. And if you can master at least two of these, you'll be powerful. You'll be strong, right? But our goal is I want to teach you how to actually master all four of these foundations. Because if you do master four of these foundations, you won't only progress, you will progress fast and efficiently, right? That's the goal. To be able to progress and actually build that physique that you want as efficient as possible. So you're not gallivanting and doing random shit, right? So now the reason why this method actually works is because they have their own individual functions, right? They have their own individual functions. Now the training is the engine. I call this the engine. The reason why is because this is the core foundation. This is the core foundation of everything, right? This is the action step that you take to actually make it a reality, right? Build that physique that you want. You can use the PPL method, push pull legs, leg split. You can use the upper body and lower body. You can even the style of training that you want, whether it's calisthenics, whether it's gym, or whether it's a mix of both. I usually tend to do the mix of both. Without the engine, nothing moves forward. If you don't train, you're not you're not going to progress with anything, right? Now, the mindset part is the performance booster, right? I call this the performance booster. Now, in terms of mindset, if you can't control your mind, then the body won't follow, right? And the main function is to boost your performance. You could already improve your performance when you're training, but if you implement mindset engineering on top of that, then you boost your performance. An example of that is the mind-muscle connection. There was a study done in Cleveland Clinic where they took two groups of people. One group physically trained in the gym, while the other group only visualized lifting weights, right? Now, after a few weeks, the group that trained saw the expected result. Like, we knew that was going to happen. We knew they were going to grow. We knew they were going to improve, which is the training part, right? If you train, if you use the engine, you're going to get to your destination, full stop, right? Not get to your destination. You're going to move forward if you just use the engine, right? But the surprising part about that study was in the group that only visualized training, who increased their strength by up to 13.5%. A whole 13.5%. That is to show how important your mindset actually is, right? The power of the mind is it's an important tool that a lot of people just shy away from or they don't even use, right? Now, imagine if you added those two together, right? Imagine if you added these two together and you added that 13.5% to your training, right? To the engine. How fast do you think you'll be able to progress? A lot, right? You'll be able to progress fast as possible. Well, so essentially, this TMAN method is to add everything together to make the progress as efficient and as powerful as possible. So you're not only just improving and progressing, but you're building that powerful physique that's not just only to function, not only just to look good, but also function as powerful as possible, right? You become an athletic individual. That's the whole point of this. The mindset is the performance booster. It's usually incorporates the mind-muscle connection, just focusing on the task at hand, which is your training, right? And when I say mind-muscle connection, what I mean by that is understanding the functionality of the movements that you're performing. So not just, going to the gym and then just doing bicep curls, but actually feel the muscle that's actually working. But not only that, but also visualize how you are 6 months down the line, or a year, or 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, right? You can visualize yourself in that state, in that dream physique that you want to be, and you can visualize yourself training and feeling the muscle as you're actually training in this current state. This is very powerful. The mindset part is very powerful, and a lot of people just shy away from this and just focus on the training, accountability, and nutrition because it's not talked about enough, and it's not applied enough, right? A lot of people don't actually put it together, and they just use it. They just say it as a separate thing. Oh, you have to be dedicated. Your mindset has to be on point, But how do you implement that? How do you put that into your own training to make sure that you are getting the best outcome, or getting the best result that you deserve? I'm going to create a separate video as well, diving deeper into all these four core pillars. I'm not just explaining this to you and just telling you, oh, go do it yourself. But I'm going to show you how to actually do all of this, right? I'm going to show you how to create your own tailored training program. I'm going to show you how to implement that mind-muscle connection when you're training, and not only when you're training, but to kind of see the end products before it's even come. Now, the accountability is the GPS. And the reason why I call this GPS is because this, without the GPS, you're just going to be training for no reason. There's no meaning to what you're doing. You can't see the roadblocks. You can't see the dent on the road. You can't see the damages that has been caused. Let's say, for example, you're training calisthenics, right? And you're trying to learn the handstand, but you're training by yourself. And, it's all over the place. You've got a banana handstand, and, your shoulders are off point. You believe that you're doing the handstand, but realistically, you're doing a bent arm handstand. Do you know what I mean? So the accountability actually matters a lot if you want to do it well, if you want to progress fast and reduce the risk of injury. A lot of people actually think you can only this can only be done by a coach, right? The accountability part can only be done by a coach. Essentially, what a coach does in theory is to prevent plateaus, right? Help you to progress each and every single week and actually dial in these other three, right? Dial in the training, dial in the mindset, and dial in the nutrition. Now, a lot of coaches miss out on this nutrition part and just focus on the training and the accountability. Sorry, the training and the nutrition. You don't necessarily need a coach, but a coach actually does help, right? It's better, right? You progress faster when you have a coach because they have more knowledge and they've helped more people and they've also helped themselves as well. But it's not really something you kind of rely on, you know. And your coach is usually, you know, you have to give them money. But we want you to do this for free and try it yourself, right? So so the accountability is the GPS, right? And without the GPS, you're just gonna be you're just gonna be driving a car, but you don't know the destination. You don't know where you're going. You're just doing bench presses. You're just doing gym stuff, calisthenic stuff, but you don't know where you're going with it. You're just floating through air. I've seen a lot of New Year's resolution fail within the first 3 weeks into their program, or within the first 3 weeks into whatever they're doing, their fitness journey. They just quit. They stop because they haven't built an accountability that is strong enough to carry them consistently through the long period, through the nitty gritty, to make sure that they become consistent, right? And that's one thing a lot of people don't understand, or they understand, but it's hard to put it into practice, right? Because one, this fitness game, this fitness journey that you're on, it's not a short-term thing, right? If you want to see lasting results, amazing results, you need to actually stay in the long run. You need to be in it for the long run. You're going to see some short-term gains, but it's not going to be efficient enough or satisfying enough for you, right? The whole point of building this, right, is so when you actually start, well, now you're doing when you continue your fitness journey, right, you're not just thinking about the short term gains, you're thinking about the long term, but this helps you to become consistent, right? The whole point of training and starting your fitness journey is to build habits, right? That's what the short term period is for, to build the habits, learn how to be consistent, learn how to be going to the gym in the scheduled time period that you actually have. So the accountability makes sure that you actually stay consistent. That's the most powerful thing about this actually. It makes sure that you are continuing regardless of you not seeing the results because you know what comes after. You know what comes after the short period, what comes after you've pushed past that period where you can't really see anything, you can't really see any progress, but you keep going anyway because you know for a fact in the long run you start to see immense amount of progress, right? And that's usually around week 12, right? 12 weeks in, 3 months in, 4 months in, you start to see amazing results, but you need to stick to it for that period. But you're not going to see a long-term change, right? But you're going to see some sort of result and you're going to see some sort of fruits of your labor, right? So accountability is the GPS, right? Now, the nutrition is the fuel. The nutrition is the fuel. You can't out-train a bad diet, right? You can't also starve, right? We don't want you to also starve. Now, in terms of the nutrition, what I'm going to be diving into is not just normal nutrition. I'm going to be diving into sports nutrition. Right? What that means is how do you also improve your performance, right? Nutrients to actually improve your performance instead of just calorie surplus and calorie deficit. How can we improve our performance when you're training, because the whole point of this is to make it as efficient as possible, to make the progress as fast as possible, right? Because we know we're in this for the long run anyway, but we want to get the best bang for our buck with anything that we're doing. So, with all of this, we're going to dive into them in depth in their own video. I'm going to create their own video for all of this, right? But this essentially, we're going to be looking at sport nutrition instead of just nutrition, right? We need to understand the fuels and the functions of each macronutrients, each nutrient, to make sure that we know, okay, this is how we can create our own system anyway, or sports nutrition, to make sure that we're getting the best bang for our buck, right? So even with the training as well, I'm gonna show you how to create your own tailored training in terms of what you want to do with that. So yeah, so these are the 4 core pillars, all right? And if you look in depth, you can see how just having 2 of these will help you so much, right? You can go so far as understanding or mastering how to create your own tailored program, mastering your mind, improving your mindset engineering, right? And your accountability and your nutrition. Just having 2 of these. Let's say you just used nutrition and accountability, right? Let's say you did these 2. Let's say you use these 2, right? And you don't even train. You don't use the mindset part. You're just, eating right, eating good, and you're also being consistent, right? And you have some sort of mechanism to make sure that you are accountable for your actions. So you're not eating rubbish, right? I've actually done this with my dad, right? And he didn't even train. There was no mindset involved whatsoever. There's no mindset training that we did for him. But he went from 100 kg to 80, like just like that. That's how powerful just having 2 of these is, right? And if you even use training mindset, you can even use training and nutrition, and then just that training and nutrition can, skyrocket your progress. Using the mindset and accountability can do the same thing, right? But what we want is all of this. We want to use all 4 core pillars to create a bulletproof system or bulletproof method, the TMAN method, to make sure that we are creating that powerful athletic physique that we actually desire. So yeah, my name is Chibs Olympia. I forgot to introduce myself at the start, but my name is Chibs Olympia, and this is my method of creating a powerful and strong physique. So if you actually want to see how this method could work for you, right, stick around, subscribe, because I'm going to be going through in depth every single one of these pillars, right? So yeah, this TMAN method is whenever anything else fails, this shit flipping works. It's unsexy, right? It's not. You can't. You can't tell your friends, "Oh, I use the TMAN method." Like, what the hell is that? But it's simple, it's effective, it's efficient, and I guarantee you, if you master all of this, you will become absolutely unstoppable.